Hey everyone, welcome. So if you're even thinking about buying a car around 2026, you've landed in the perfect spot. Today, we are going to dive deep into how to make a genuinely smart car buying decision. And I'm not just talking about saving a bit of cash up front, I'm talking about a choice that benefits your wallet for years and years. Let's get right into it.
So let me just kick things off with a big question for you. What is the real cost of a new car? It seems so simple, doesn't it? You see the price on the sticker and you think, okay, that's the number. But honestly, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The actual cost is so much more complicated and, it can really have a huge impact on your finances down the line.
And this quote right here, it just nails the problem perfectly. The single biggest mistake most of us make is getting completely fixated on that initial price tag. But the real money, the serious money, is spent after you drive off the lot. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Okay, so to figure this all out, let's put the three main contenders head-to-head. We're going to break down the pros, the cons, and most importantly, the real long-term costs of petrol, diesel, and electric cars for anyone who's looking to buy in the near future.
First up, the old reliable, the petrol car. Now, its biggest plus is definitely that lower initial price. Maintenance is pretty straightforward, and they're fantastic for just zipping around town. But, and this is a big but, the fuel prices are all over the place, right? The mileage isn't as good as diesel, and as we're about to see, that long-term fuel cost can be, well, kind of shocking.
Next, we've got diesel. These cars are famous for their amazing mileage, which makes them absolute beasts for long highway drives. The thing is, by 2026, they come with a higher upfront cost, and the maintenance on these newer, cleaner BS6 engines can get expensive. Plus, there's always that nagging risk of future bans in big cities. Honestly, it really only makes sense if you're putting in some serious highway miles. And now for electric cars. They're quickly going from being a cool trend to a super practical choice. The pros are just massive. Your running costs are incredibly low, and maintenance is almost non-existent. I mean, no oil changes, no clutch problems. It's a different world. Now, the main worries people have are battery replacement way down the road and needing a charging setup at home. But let's be real. Modern batteries are easily lasting 6 to 8 years, and they're usually covered by a warranty for most of the time you'll own the car anyway.
All right, so we've looked at the pros and cons, but now it's time for the most important part, the numbers. Let's jump into the 5-year cost showdown and see which of these cars actually comes out on top for your bank account. This is where it gets really interesting.
Wow. Okay, just look at this for a second. What's so amazing here is just how massive the difference is when you see it laid out like this. A petrol car costs you about 7 rupees for every single kilometer you drive. Diesel is a bit better, around 6. But then, look at the electric car, just 1.5 rupees. That's a total game changer every single time you leave your driveway.
So this table, this gives us the whole story. We've based this on a pretty typical usage, about 1,200 kilometers a month, and we've calculated all the running and maintenance costs over a 5-year period. So now let's look at the final totals, and trust me, they're pretty eye-opening. Let's start with petrol. If you're an average driver, get this. You can expect to spend over 5 lakh rupees. That's $500,000 just on fuel over 5 years. And that's not even counting servicing, insurance, or anything else. Just let that number sink in. It's a staggering amount of money.
And what about the diesel car? Well, the 5-year total comes in at around 4.5 lakh. So yeah, it is cheaper than petrol, but don't forget you paid more for it on day one, and you're still carrying that risk of higher maintenance bills and those potential city bans we talked about.
And here it is. This is the power of that super low per kilometer cost. For an electric car, your total charging cost over 5 whole years is estimated to be under 80,000 rupees. That's a saving of over 4 lakh rupees compared to petrol. For most people who can charge at home, the financial argument is just becoming impossible to ignore.
Okay, so this is crucial. Choosing the right type of car is a huge step for sure. But the savings don't have to stop there, because no matter which car you end up buying, you can still end up wasting thousands and thousands of rupees by falling into some really common maintenance traps.
So here are 5 key habits that can literally save you a fortune. First, whatever you do, never skip a scheduled service. It feels like you're saving money, but it is the fastest way to cause expensive engine damage and totally void your warranty. Second, always use quality fuel or certified chargers. Cheap fuel can clog up your injectors, and bad chargers can seriously degrade your battery. Third, this one's so simple. Check your tire pressure. Low pressure is like a silent thief. It just drains your fuel and wears out your tires twice as fast. Fourth, try to avoid tons of really short trips, especially in petrol and diesel cars. All those constant cold starts create carbon buildup that just slowly chokes your engine. And finally, get smart with your insurance. Don't just grab the cheapest plan. An add-on like zero depreciation might cost a tiny bit more, but it can save you tens of thousands after even a small accident.
So after digging through all the data and looking at all the common mistakes, what's the big takeaway here? How do you actually go out and make that smart choice for 2026?
You know, it really all boils down to this one simple but powerful idea. A car is not just a machine to get you from point A to point B. It is a major, long-term financial decision. The people who only focus on the looks and the upfront price, they often end up with buyer's remorse. The people who save the real money are the ones who do the math.
And that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. As you start planning your next purchase, is your decision going to be driven by emotion, by impulse, or will it be guided by a clear-eyed calculation of what is truly best for your wallet in the long run? The smart choice is yours to make.